Who is Rajaraja Cholan? Why is there so many controversies around him? Was he a Hindu? How he became a king? That itself is a heart-wrenching story. That is all the movie Ponniyin Selvan is talking about. After Rajaraja Chola's great-grandfather Parantaka's death, his son Gandharaditya ruled for a few years and died. But his son Uttama Chola could not become a king as he was too young at that time. So Gandharaditya's younger brother Arinjaya became the king and he died soon after as well. But the chance to rule the kingdom did not go back to Uttama Chola. Instead, Arinjaya's son Chundara Chola became the king. Even after Chundara Chola, the turn was not going to go back to Uttama Chola as his son Aditya Karigalan was made the crown prince. But soon after Aditya Karigalan was mysteriously murdered. Now it's Rajaraja's turn to become the king. But Rajaraja so generously stepped aside and let Uttama to be the king. Only after Uttama died, Rajaraja became the king. We have seen many kings like Aurangzeb who killed their own family for the sake of kingdom, and here you have Rajaraja Cholan giving up his kingdom voluntarily to a person who's much weaker than him just because he thought that's the right thing to do. He stood by his morals. When Rajaraja became the king, the Chola kingdom was very small and was still recovering from the Rashtrakuta invasion that happened previously. Rajaraja turned it into an efficiently administered empire which possessed a powerful army and a strong navy. He initiated a massive project of land survey 1000 years back and divided the kingdom into multiple individual units, and 1000 years back he had an elaborate water irrigation system. And in the field of architecture, he built the most magnificent Shiva temple in Tanjavur that stands very strong even after 1000 years, and the construction of this temple is still a mystery. The entire temple was built using tons of granites, but Tanjavur does not have a single mountain at least 60 kilometers around it. The Vimana or the temple tower is 216 feet high, but it was built completely by interlocking the stones without using any binding materials like cement. And the top stone of the tower is a single block of granite weighing about 80 tons. How it was placed there without any modern equipments is still a mystery. It's believed that a 4 miles ramp was built specially for this, and the stones were pulled up by fleets of elephants. The temple is nothing but an architectural miracle, and there's a huge example for how he treated the people. All the names of the people who worked on this temple, even the small helpers, were imprinted on this temple walls along with his name. He was the king. He was the emperor. He could have easily took all the credits. There was no need at all to mention thousands of people who worked on that. Still he did it. He wanted the world to know the people who worked hard on that. That's how generous he was. And finally, was he a Hindu? He built such a magnificent temple for Lord Shiva. He called himself Shivapada Shekhara, which literally means the one who places his crown at the feet of Shiva. He was such an hardcore devotee of Lord Shiva, but there was not even a single scene that depicts him as Shiva Bhakt in Ponniyin Selvan. In fact, there should have been some scenes that shows his love towards Shiva. In Bahubali, he wasn't even a Shiva Bhakt, but it amazingly portrayed how devoted people were at that time. But Ponniyin Selvan failed to establish that, even though Rajaraja Cholan was a great Shiva Bhakt, and still few people are upset that he was portrayed as Hindu. I'm saying the portrayal was not Hindu enough. I don't understand what's the problem in portraying a Hindu king as Hindu. If anybody has a problem with it, they just have Hindu phobia.